Hello and welcome! My name is Andy C. Guthrie, and this is Cook What You Got. I am the chef, Prince of Perry Street. I'm not a chef, but I am a prince. And I do live on Perry Street.
What are you making today? What do you got, Andy?
Shh, everyone, just be quiet. Shh. Just breathe in. Breathe out. I'm going crazy. It is so hard right now. I'm like stuck in my house, and you're probably stuck in your house, and I miss my friends. I love my friends. I miss my work friends and my buddies. Why are they not here? Why can't I see them? I just want to hold them in my arms like babies and say, I love you. I miss you. I can't wait till we can do that again. Okay, today I thought we could make bread. Because bread is comforting. And bread is warm and buttery and delicious. And it just makes you feel better when you're sad. And I'm a little sad right now. So we're going to make bread. But bread is kind of hard. There is recipes on the internet. You guys have seen them, all of the internets. The internet. You guys have seen those recipes. There's like, maybe you've seen them. I don't know. I've seen people posting all over with their fancy sourdough recipes. And don't get me wrong. I love sourdough recipes. I make them. I've got my own yeast starter, and it's bubbling and delicious and working well. But it's hard. It's really hard. It takes like 14 steps, and it requires like 6 days to make one loaf of bread. And the recipe I'm going to show you today is the easiest, best bread in the world.
Most delicious.
The most delicious, and it's so simple. You don't even really have to knead it. You just use time, man. Father, mother, time. Mother, father, father, mother. All the times. You just use it. And time does all the work. So, we've got some ingredients here. Let's hope my aerial shot's working. Aerial shot. I got flour, 4 cups. 4 cups of flour and yeast. 2.5 cups roughly of water. So I do have 2.5 cups. You don't always need all of it, depending on the humidity and different things, whatever. And salt. These are the only things that you need. And you also need a bowl.
How many loaves will this make? How are those loud? Oh, Watson's scared.
Right in the mic.
It's okay, Watson.
Okay.
Andy, you're scaring the dog.
Okay, sorry, Watson.
How many
Watson.
loaves will this make?
This can make 1 big loaf, or 2 small loaves, or 4 mini loaves, or a dozen tiny buns, or like 40 breadsticks. But I'm just going to make 1 loaf. Just 1 big loaf. Okay, so let's get started. So we get our bowl. I like to add the water first. Actually, you know what? I need another bowl. I need 2 bowls. So I like to add the water to the big bowl. So I add 2 cups of water in here, just 2 cups. And I save this other half cup in case we need it. If it's too dry, we'll add that. And then we take this other bowl and I just mix in the flour in here. And then I add 1.5 teaspoons roughly of salt, which is about that much approximately. And we add the yeast, which is right here, 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. This is active dry yeast. This is just the stuff you get in those little packets. I buy it at the bulk food store, and I buy more. You can also use instant yeast. If that's all you got, just use instant yeast. I don't care. It'll still work. So we put that in, and then we mix it up. And I don't have a spoon, so just a second. Use this. And we just take this, and we just mix it in. So mix in all of the yeast and the salt and the flour. Stir, stir, stir. Mix, mix, mix. Stir, mix. Okay, done. Mix in the flour. I don't add all of it, maybe about half. Add about half, and then start stirring that up. You see, it just starts to get like stirred. Like, it just gets stirred. That's what happens. And stir in, and then once it kind of gets all incorporated like that, and some of the lumps are out, I add the rest of the flour. You see, it's starting to get a little dry, so we just keep stirring. It's pretty good. And you see, when it starts to get raggedy like that, see it's all raggedy, then I usually like to get in there with my hands. Get right in there. And I just start, I knead it a little bit. You don't really need to knead this. This is more just for like stirring and mixing it, getting it all mixed in. You just want to do it until all the flour and all the salt and the water are all fully combined. This is a very sticky dough. See, look, it's very sticky. It sticks to your hand. It needs to be sticky. If it's a little too sticky, if you think it's a little too sticky, you can add more flour. But this is pretty good. You kind of want that consistency. I'll show you over here. It's like, put your hand on it, it sticks, but it mostly comes off. See that? See? It doesn't really, yeah, that's the stickiness you want. So, it was really stuck to this hand. That's because it was in there when it was wet. Okay. So now, this is ready. That's all you do. And you leave this for 12 to 24 hours. So we're just going to turn the camera off, and we're going to come back here. It's going to seem like seconds, moments. And we're going to bake this bread. Hello, world. Guess what? The dough's ready.
Andy, is there dill in your dough?
There's no dill in the dough. 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 That's my nephew's name. Dylan. There's no Dylan in the dough. The dough's ready, guys. And before I show this to you, it's beautiful. You should see it. It's light, it's fluffy and bubbly. So bubbly. I thought maybe a little visit with my puppy. Because I love my puppy. He's the best dog. I'm serious. The best dog. And I have the best lady friend, too. So here they are. Here's Watson again. Let's hold him up so they can see close up. Hold up a little higher. Oh, look at how cute he is. Look how cute he is. He's a miniature schnauzer. Yes, he is. He's so cute. Hey, buddy. Look into his eyes. He's staring at you.
He's got human eyes.
Yeah, apparently. Transplant.
Okay.
Okay.
Now that your hands are full.
Okay, now that my hands are dog, I need to go wash them, so just give me a minute. Washing my hands. Washing my hands. Okay, I'm feeling so much better today. This is 24 hours later. It's going to seem like 4 seconds or half a second. But it's 24 hours later. We let this dough rise for 24 hours. A whole 24 hours. It's probably more like 26. But I feel great today because I got to see friends last night. Not in real life. Not in real life. I saw them on Skype. And we met. There was like 8 of us. There was 7 other people and me. And it made me so happy to see their faces. It just filled me up with hope. Hope for the future. Hope for this planet. I need you. I need all of you. I need all of you. Please stay. Don't go. Come visit when you can. You can't yet, though. You can't visit yet. Cool. To all of you at home right now, alone, some of you. I'm lucky. I got 3 kids and Lee and a dog, and I'm lucky. But a lot of people are home alone, and I love you. Take care of yourself. Text me, but I'm not giving my text number, so you're gonna have to try to find it. Okay, now we're gonna look at this dough. So as you can see, it's so sticky. Look at it. It's so sticky and so bubbly. It's amazing. This is what you want, because this is kind of like a hearty, crusty, outside, tender in the middle loaf, and you want those bubbles. So we want to actually be careful. Be really careful when we're taking it out of the bowl. We don't want to punch this down. I know you hear that a lot. There's a lot of bread recipes where you punch it down, punch it down, punch it down, punch, punch, punch. I've actually never punched anything in my life. It's true. I've never punched anyone. But you don't want to punch this. Okay? So you want to be kind of gentle with it. So what I do is I just kind of scoop around the edges. If it's a little too sticky, just put your fingers in some flour. Like this. Just put your fingers in some flour. And it helps. And you just want to kind of peel it off the edges like this. Around the edges, peel it off the edges, get around the bottom, Okay, so now before we put it on the thing, we want to make sure there's lots of flour on here. I kind of overdo it because this is a very sticky dough, and you don't want it to stick to anything. So put a lot of flour down, and then just roll it out on to the surface. So now we have this dough. Now we need to shape it. It is ready. We don't want to really knead this dough at this point. You don't want to knead it at all. But you do have to shape it. So I do this folding technique where you just grab a little bit, kind of pull it out a bit, and you fold it into the middle. And then this side, fold it into the middle, fold it into the middle, fold it into the middle. And just kind of shape it up and turn it around and see we've got this dough. And then like this technique here, this is, I kind of push my hands underneath to kind of get, you want to get a little bit of a, like a pocket, nice pocket of bulging dough. There you go. That's done. That is ready. It's ready to go in the oven. This is all we need to do. But we do let it rest. Now this has, I'm not going to let it rest too long, but you can probably let it rest for another 20 minutes or so before you put it in the oven. So just kind of cover it with a piece of, what's this called?
Plastic wrap.
Plastic wrap. It's a plastic wrap. It's actually not saran wrap. We don't buy name brand. It's off-brand plastic wrap. It's the cheap stuff that doesn't stick to anything. That's what we buy. So you just kind of let that rest while your oven's heating up. 450 degrees. But before you turn your oven on, you need to put a pot with a lid in the oven. Now, I already have the pot I'm using in the oven, and I'll show you that just before we put the dough in. So you need a pot. So I just have some options of things that can work. I use, what's mine called? A Dutch oven. It's like a cast iron with the enamel finish. I'll show it to you before I go. I use that. It's fancy. It's the best thing to use, but you can almost use any pot with a lid that's oven safe. So this is just like a sauce pot. It's a lid. You can use this. So you would put this in the oven before you turn it on, turn it to 450, and then by the time it heats up, it's ready. Another option might be something like this, a broken clay pot or ceramic. This is actually the first pot I used to make this bread. This is the one. So this is where the love began.
I think that was a dollar store purchase.
This is like a dollar store maybe or a yard sale or something, and I broke it, so that's my doing. But this has been used a ton and it works great too. All I'm saying is you don't really need anything fancy. And if you don't even have a lid, even if you just have a dish, something like this, you could just cover it in saran wrap. And that's fine too. That'll work. But you know, a lid's a little easier to kind of deal with. Sorry, I mean tin foil.
Oh, yeah.
Don't cover it in saran
I
wrap.
was like, that seems like a bad idea.
That'll be a mess. A real mess. So, okay, I'm going to get mine out of the oven. So, it's in the oven. It's super hot. So, when you're dealing with super hot, if you're not like a superhuman, you need some mittens. This is from one of my children's friends, Allie. She did give me two, and she gave me two because she always noticed that I only ever had one oven mitt. And now I do have two oven mitts, but I lost one of the ones that Allie gave me. But thank you, Allie. But I do have two now. Two, but they're mismatched. So I'm just going to grab the pot out of the oven. Now this is super hot. It's probably going to burn my counter. Bad idea, just a sec. Going to get a cloth. Going to grab it again. Remember to put the glove back on. Okay, hot. Close the oven. You don't want it to cool down. Take the lid off. Okay, now I need somewhere to put the hot lid. I'm so prepared. Super prepared, man! Super prepared! Okay, hot. Take the lid off. This is piping hot. See the smoke? Woo. Piping hot. Piping hot. I usually leave this in the oven. I don't take it out and put it on my counter. You can just take the lid off, drop it right in. But just to show you guys through my overhead internet camera.
No oil or anything?
No oil. Dry. Because it's so hot when the dough hits it, it like cooks like immediately and creates like a separation, like the bottom layer. So it doesn't need anything. Now you could also at this point, if you wanted to put a design on it, you could like cut across or whatever. I don't do any of that because we just eat it immediately. So you just take it about here and just drop it in. Put this in the oven. See? Hot. In the oven it goes. Set a timer for 45 minutes. And after 45 minutes, we come back. We take the lid off. Cook it for 10 more minutes. And it's ready. So I'll be back in 45 minutes. I love you. So here's the oven. Open it up. So hot. So hot. Okay, so we take it out, take the lid off. Look at that. It's so close to being ready. So I'm gonna put it in for 10 more minutes and it'll get a little bit crispier, browner on the top. And then we'll be ready. I'll be back. We have one beautiful loaf of bread. I'm just gonna dump it out here. Set it down. Have a look at this. Look at this loaf. Look how beautiful it is. See the crust? It's hard. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this sound. Oh, it's so hot. That's the sound you want. It means it's got air pockets in there. Let's do it right by the microphone. So this is Andy's bread. Thank you for watching. Cook what you got with me, Andy C. Guthrie. Coo, 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 coo. Thank you. Bye.